Whenever a breakup occurs, it's never a good experience for any party to have to endure. The one person who you believe that you could spend the rest of your life with has now hit you with the news that they no longer want to be a part of your life or want you in their life any longer. Initially, you'll go through all types of emotions after hearing the shocking news, from being shocked to depression to frustration to anger. And you may even get to the point where you may beg and plead for this person to remain in your life. When this person finally hits you with this life-changing news, it might come at a time where you feel as though things were going perfectly fine within a relationship. However, deep down inside, this person has been thinking and contemplating on ways to tell you that they wanted to end it, maybe for weeks or even months at a time now. They just finally got to the point where they grew enough courage to come face to face to tell you that they no longer want the relationship to continue on. The first thing that might come to mind for you is, who is this person leaving you for? It has to be someone else that they are seeing that's making them act this way towards you. Sometimes that is the case. Sometimes that can be exactly the reason why this person has turned it cold against you and seemed like they are betraying you. Other cases, not so much. However, even if a person tells you that there's no one else that they're leaving you for, in the back of their mind, they do honestly believe that they can upgrade and do better than you, eventually, even if they don't start dealing with or dating other people right away. This person sees something in you that's turning them off or has turned them off to the point where they no longer want to be involved with you anymore. However, even if your ex happens to tell you that there's no one else that they're interested in that's causing them to no longer want the relationship with you, in the back of their mind, honestly speaking, they really do believe they can upgrade to something better or to someone better. They just don't want to break the news to you to crush you even more than they already have with the news of them telling you that they no longer want to be with you anymore. If your relationship ended in a hostile type of fashion, whereas though your ex has become completely ice cold towards you, and they may even lash out to the point of telling you they no longer want to hear from you again, don't call them, they don't want to see you, they don't want you in their life at all, just to leave them alone. My advice to you is, and I know this may be easier said than done for most of you, but if you trust me on this advice, you'll see how it'll work out in your favor. My advice to you is to give them exactly what they're asking for. If they tell you to stop calling them, they no longer want to hear from you, give them exactly that. This is the time to go into no contact and radio silence. Don't call, don't text, don't reach out, don't email, none of that. It's like just make it like you disappeared from the face of this earth. But in short, you're giving them exactly what they asked for, and you have to realize that when a person says this to you, they're running on high emotions at the moment. At that particular moment, they are extremely high on emotions. Not only do they feel as though they can do better than you, they feel as though in their eyes that they are more attractive than you are, and that you will continue to beg and plead for them to remain in your life. But show them the complete opposite. When they tell you they no longer want to be in your life and to stop calling them, give them exactly what they're asking for. As you enter the no contact phase of your life, use this as an opportunity to work on yourself. And I know a lot of people give advice of go into no contact for 30 days, maybe 60 days or 90 days. I don't recommend either time frame. I wouldn't even put a time frame on it, to be honest. Stay in no contact for however long you need to be in it until you get to the point where you no longer crave or desire for this person relationship-wise anymore. That's when you can end the no contact if you decide to. But if you continue to remain in it, that's your choice as well. I would never put a time frame or recommend putting a time frame on it because there's different circumstances for each individual and how their relationship ended. So take as much time as you need to remain in no contact, but make sure you stick to it and don't break it. While your ex is focusing on eventually, if not immediately, testing the waters to see if the grass is actually greener on the other side with someone else, Your focus is strictly on you at this point. You're back into society again. You may have reconnected with old friends, made new friends. Maybe you picked back up on some hobbies that you put aside in the past during your relationship, or gained new hobbies. You may even got a new promotion at work or thought about starting your own business. Maybe even focused on exercising more, getting your health intact. Whatever you do, make sure that the focus is solely on you. Try to block out anything that's driving you back to thoughts of your ex again. Keep the focus on you, bettering yourself, become a better version of yourself. None of these things that I'm recommending will be an overnight process. It'll take time. Even allow yourself to go through the grieving stages after the relationship has ended. But make sure that you don't stay in that grieving stage for too long. You eventually get back on track again, slowly but surely. Just take your time with it. Get back on track, get back into the world again, and keep moving. Keep bettering yourself, and always keep in the back of your mind that it is someone out here that would appreciate and love you for exactly who you are. Your ex lost appreciation for you, and they lost the feeling of being in love with you, even though they might still love you. There's someone out here that will appreciate you 100% and will be in love with you just as strongly, if not even more, than your ex was. So it's important to not stay in that slump for too long, the depression phase. Allow yourself to grieve, go through the motions of the grieving stages, but make sure you eventually get back on track and get back out into the world and keep moving. At this particular stage, even if your ex has moved on and has started dating other people, you're still remaining in no contact and focusing on you. You're giving them exactly what they asked for. You're respecting their wishes by not reaching out to them. Remember, if they told you, I no longer want to hear from you, don't call me again, you're doing just that. You're giving them what they asked for. This is what I recommended in the beginning. By you staying in no contact and still not reaching out, even if they're dating other people, don't think for 1 second that they're not thinking about you, because they are. And it may even be to the point where they're looking at their phone, hoping and praying to see your name pop up on the phone. But we're not giving them that. Do not contact them. Stay in no contact. Because it's going to make your ex begin to wonder and think, why aren't you reaching out? Why aren't you begging and pleading like they thought you would? Why aren't you chasing? What are you doing with your life? How come that they haven't heard from you? This is exactly what you want to make things begin to shift in your favor. Even if it's not for the results of getting your ex back, you have to move on with your life either way. You can't stay stuck in the limbo of trying to do things to get even with your ex, or stay depressed about wondering who they may be with. You're stronger than that. It's time to build yourself up to get to that point where you no longer want to or need to reach out to them. So remain in no contact. Trust and believe your ex is going to wonder, why aren't you reaching out to them? And this is exactly what you want. The longer that you remain in no contact, actually, the better things will turn out in your favor. See, you're in a detox period now while being in no contact. While in the relationship, you was used to the line of communication being wide open, where you and your partner were communicating face to face at home, or either texting or calling when you two were not together. Now that you're detoxing and you're pulling away from that line of communication, you're remaining in no contact, the energy is beginning to shift now. And it may get to the point where your ex, the thought of contacting you may begin to creep into their mind if it haven't already done so. Isn't it amazing how the tables in life can turn and shift in our favor when in the beginning it seemed like everything was going against us? The same person who told you when the relationship ended never to contact them again, they didn't want to hear from you, is now the same person who is now reaching out to you, trying to spark up a conversation with you. And all of this stems from you remaining in no contact. You gave them exactly what they asked for, to the point they no longer want it now. They're reaching out to you. But there's also another reason why this can be happening. Maybe it's a possibility that person, your ex, finally sees that the grass really isn't greener on the other side. The people who they've been dating or been involved with doesn't even amount up to the chemistry that the two of you once shared. And they're finally beginning to see this. This is what makes things tricky when they try to come back to you, and it's up to you to decide if you want to allow them back into your life again. But me, from a personal standpoint, I would say depending on how the relationship ended. I'm not a fan of taking an ex back, because if I do, it feel like I'm putting myself at second place in that person's life. They're coming back to me because things didn't work out with other people. So that's not making me the top priority in their life. You want to be number one in a person's life that you're involved with. Now, you can use this to your discretion. It's up to you how you choose to proceed. But if you remain in no contact, focus on yourself, keep the energy on you, you'll begin to notice a shift, a drastic shift in the behavior of your ex. As a recap, once the relationship ends, never wish any harm or ill will on your ex. Explain to them that you believe that they're making a huge mistake by no longer wanting to be in your life and continue on with the relationship. But also let them know that you're going to respect their decision and their wishes, and you're going to leave them alone. While in no contact, work on yourself, bettering yourself. Keep the focus solely and strictly on you. Try to get that promotion at work. Try to start a new business. Pick up new hobbies, or maybe revive old hobbies that you put aside during a relationship. Connect with new friends. Try to reconnect with friends from the past. And at the same time, don't forget to allow yourself to go through the grieving stages. Don't try to skip over this part and immediately start being involved with someone else. Go through the grieving stages to allow yourself to get the grief out, and then eventually begin to branch out and date other people. Once your ex reaches out to you, I can't put a time frame on it or when it will happen, but there's a high percentage chance that it will eventually happen. Once this person reaches out to you, it's up to you to decide if you want them to be in your life again. If you decide to take them back into your life, I wish you nothing but the best, and hopefully the second time around things will work out completely better for the two of you. However, if you decide to move on with your life and you no longer want to be involved with this person anymore, I wish you nothing but happiness and prosperity. Remember to like this video, share, and subscribe. And be sure to turn on notifications so you'll be immediately notified once I publish a new video. Be well, everyone.